According to yoga philosophy, everything in this universe contains three forces, or three energies. There's Sattvic, which means sentient. There's Rajasic, which means mutative. And there's Tamasic, which means static. So Sattvic means to perceive or feel, especially on a spiritual level. It also means abundant and life force, and it produces a peaceful state of mind, which means it's a good energy for meditation. Rajasic means changing or undirected energy. There's energy there, but it's not directed. Tamasic means no movement or a dead energy. So these three forces are in the food that we eat also. If you live a meditative lifestyle, you do meditation, yoga, things like this, we try to focus more on the sattvic food, because that's going to give us a mental equilibrium, a peaceful state of mind. It's a good energy basically for developing your spiritual progress. So sattvic food includes foods like fresh fruits and vegetables, beans and grains, nuts and seeds. It can include dairy products also, like milk and yogurt, cheese. But those dairy products need to come from cows or goats, etc., that were well treated. You know, if the animals are not treated well, then that milk or dairy product that comes from it is not going to be sentient. It's not going to be sattvic. Tamasic foods include things like meat, fish, onions, garlic, and mushrooms. Those things we want to avoid if we're following a spiritual path, doing meditation and yoga, because of the type of energy that brings into our system. Well, sattvic food is actually the best food for our environment, for the society, for the animals, of course, and for our physical, mental, and spiritual health. So one thing to consider is that all beings on this planet need enough food to eat. If most of the people on the planet are following a meat-based diet, what happens there is to produce meat, it takes 100 times more water, 17 times more land, and 10 times more energy than it does to produce a plant-based diet. So when you think that millions of people on this planet are currently going without enough food, and some starving, is it really practical to try to have most of the planet on a meat-based diet? We're probably at around 95% right now. But with a plant-based diet, there's plenty of food for everyone. So that's one thing to consider for our society. And then when you look at the animals on the planet, so much suffering that they go through. About 30% of the land on the planet right now is used for meat production. And about 70 billion animals are slaughtered each year. Many of those, or probably the majority, are in factory farms, which is a horrible condition for these animals. And so much fear is generated when they know they're going to die, because they see it happening. And that fear that goes into their bodies goes into the bodies of humans when they eat that meat. So that's one thing to consider when you're considering what to eat. You know, it's much better to be on a plant-based diet because you're not getting all that negative energy and dead energy from those animals. Most people, if they go out and they see a field of cows or sheep, a lamb, for example, I mean, the lamb might come up to the fence and you could pet the lamb and say, oh, what a beautiful creature. But then say you're sitting in a restaurant and Indian restaurant and they have a lamb dish that they're offering. Oh yes, I'll have the lamb. So you see, there's a disconnect, between being with the animal, seeing it alive, and then understanding that what you're eating is that same animal that's been killed. Is that what we really want to do? So we need to have a better connection with the animals on this planet. And we can't just think of it as food, because when we see them, we like those animals. So, because they all have a right to live as well as we do. So Sattvic food is also fresh food. We want to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. A lot of raw food is good. And food that's been freshly cooked. If we cook food and then we don't eat it till a week later, the prana, or energy in that food, is gone. And why we're eating food is to have vital energy in our bodies. If there's no vital energy in the food that we're eating, we don't have any energy. So that's very important that the food is fresh. So why is it better not to eat Rajasic and Tamasic foods? Rajasic are foods that generally have some stimulating effect. Tea, coffee, medicines. Could be good for the mind and not the body, or good for the body and not the mind. So we want to have a more directed energy, especially if we're on a spiritual path and doing meditation, going deep within ourselves. We don't want all these influences that are pulling us away from the source that we're trying to find. So some of the foods that are included in the Tamasic category are onion, garlic, and mushroom. So the reason onion is not good if you're doing a meditation practice is because it's irritating to the mind. When you chop up an onion, how your eyes start to water. There's an irritation coming from that. Well, it has the same effect on your mind. So it's harder to focus and concentrate if you eat onion. And a similar thing for garlic. When you eat it, your body immediately tries to throw it out through your breath, through your pores. And that's one reason it can be a good medicine. But on a daily basis, it can overtax your body. Mushrooms are tamasic because they grow on dead energy. Dying, decaying matter is what they grow on. So that's the nature of a mushroom. And when you eat that mushroom, you get that same energy or nature from it. So, it's just not the best thing. If you're following a spiritual practice and you're doing meditation, it could be good for medicinal purpose, again, or for certain nutrients that your body might need. So it could be good for the body, but it's not so good for the mind. Okay, one problem with the Sattvic diet is it's not so easy to find Sattvic food in the stores or restaurants, which is one reason why my wife and I started this business called Sattvic Kitchen. Because we wanted not only ourselves to be able to have Sattvic food, but also everyone in the community. So you can find Sattvic food as far as fruits and vegetables, preferably organic, things like that. But as far as prepared food, almost everything has onions, garlic, meat. It's just, it's really difficult. But so we have this line of products called Sattvic Kitchen. And no onion, no garlic, no mushroom, all vegetarian. And it's available on Maui and available online, some of the products, at sattvicKitchenMaui.com, and also available in natural food stores on the island of Maui and at our farmers market at the Napili location.